I'm about to tell you something that'll piss off every smart person watching this. Intelligence doesn't make you rich. In fact, it might be the exact reason you're broke, and I can prove it in the next 5 minutes. Think about it. You probably know someone with a genius IQ who's barely scraping by. Meanwhile, you've got people who barely passed high school running multi-million-dollar businesses. This isn't an accident. It's a pattern. And after studying this for years, I've identified exactly why smart people stay broke while average people build wealth. It comes down to 3 fatal mistakes that intelligent people make without even realizing it. If you recognize yourself in any of these, don't worry. Awareness is the first step. Let's break it down. Smart people love complexity. They overanalyze. They need all the data before making a decision. They plan for every possible scenario. And while they're stuck in analysis paralysis, the average person who knows just enough launches, fails fast, learns, and iterates. Here's a real example. A Harvard MBA spends 6 months building the perfect business plan with financial projections, market research, competitive analysis. Meanwhile, a high school dropout launches a basic version of the same idea in 2 weeks, gets real customer feedback, and pivots 3 times before the MBA even launches. Who wins? The person who took action. Because here's the brutal truth. The market doesn't reward the smartest plan. It rewards the fastest execution. And smart people confuse planning with progress. They think analyzing the risk is the same as managing the risk. It's not. Average people understand something smart people don't. You can't think your way to wealth. You have to act your way there. Action requires accepting imperfect information. Smart people are trained to be employees. School literally programs you for this. Get good grades, get a good job, get a good salary. So they become doctors, lawyers, engineers, consultants. High income, still broke. Why? Because they're stuck in the time for money trap. They make $200,300, even $500 an hour.
Sounds great.
Until you realize there's a ceiling. Meanwhile, the average person who couldn't get into college starts a landscaping business, hires a crew. Now they're making money while sleeping because they built a system. The smart person thinks, how can I make more per hour? The average person thinks, how can I make money without my time? One is trading time. The other is building leverage. And leverage always wins. Smart people over-optimize for salary. Average people optimize for ownership and equity. That's the difference between a high income and actual wealth. You know who's richer? The guy who owns the dry cleaning business making $80,000 a year, or the corporate lawyer making $300,000? The business owner, because when he retires, he sells the business for $2 million. The lawyer retires with nothing but a 401k. Intelligence gets you a better job. Strategy gets you wealth. This is the killer. Smart people have spent their entire lives being rewarded for being right. Tests, grades, promotions, all based on correctness. It's so when they enter business, they can't handle being wrong. They double down on bad decisions because admitting failure feels like admitting they're not smart. Average people, they fail constantly. They're fine with it because they weren't raised to tie their identity to being right. They see failure as feedback, not a referendum on their intelligence. I've watched smart people hold losing stocks for years because selling would mean admitting they made a bad pick. I've seen brilliant entrepreneurs refuse to pivot failing businesses because it would mean their original idea was wrong. Meanwhile, the average person cuts losses fast and moves on. No ego, no attachment, just results. Here's the pattern. Smart people optimize for being right. Wealthy people optimize for being effective. And being effective often means being wrong 10 times to find the one thing that works. But if you can't tolerate being wrong, you'll never find it. Your intelligence becomes a prison. You'd rather be right and broke than wrong and rich. So what's the fix? 3 things. 1. Replace analysis with action. Give yourself 48 hours to make decisions, not 48 weeks. Launch the imperfect version. The market will teach you more in 1 week than research will teach you in 1 year. 2. Build systems, not income. Stop trading time for money. Ask, how can this work without me? Hire people, use technology, create leverage. 3. Detach your ego from outcomes. You're not your wins or losses. You're the person who learns from both and keeps moving. Being wrong isn't failure. Staying wrong is. If you can master these 3 shifts, your intelligence becomes an asset instead of a liability. And you'll finally understand why the smartest person in the room is rarely the richest. Drop a comment if this hit home. And if you want more content that actually shifts how you think about money, hit subscribe. Next video. How to build your first income stream in 30 days with zero startup capital. See you there.